Hey guys, it's Coachdag, and it is time to recap Week 3. Tough matchups. We're going to go through each matchup in Week 3, and then we're going to make some predictions for Week 4. So let's start by the first match. Let's take a look at the first matchup. Fibonacci Golden Ducks versus Long Island Toxic Avengers. Well, you knew that the Golden Ducks were going to be tough. They was a pretty good assembled team. The only question mark is Beanie Wells at this point. I'm going to have to try to find a second running back. But if you look at the box score, the Golden Ducks win 128-104. That was a pretty high-scoring matchup. Now, Steve, the Long Island Toxic Avengers, he came out firing. Okay, he had a pretty good, pretty much the best situation you can have on a Thursday night game. Andre Brown, okay, who's the backup running back for the Giants, he scored 24 points for Steve, the Long Island Toxic Avengers. Okay, so right off the bat, 24-0. Great start, Steve. Okay. And then he had Matt Schaub score 25 points. So right now he's looking pretty good. The only problem, Long Island Ducks, okay, the Golden Ducks, Fibonacci's Long Island Ducks, basically came back. They wanted to play. They wanted to play, and the Cardinals' defense was the key to it. 21 points. They put a hurting on Michael Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles. Andy Dalton looked like my #1 quarterback, 24 points. Tony Gonzalez, the ageless wonder there, 15 points. Miles Austin, Wes Welker. I was banking on Wes Welker to come out and put up a pretty good show. Unfortunately, the Patriots lost but I think Wes Welker is going to be involved. All right. Ray Rice, 20 points. Tony Romo put up a little bit of a goose egg for me, 5 points. So if Tony Romo and Beanie Wells, I'm not sure. He just recently got another injury, so I got to look at that. But if Tony Romo comes back to form, I'm going to be tough. All right, I'm telling you right now. You knew I was going to be tough. My team was going to be tough. All right, we're 3-0. The Long Island Toxic Avengers, I'm sorry. You probably would have won most of your games if you didn't play me. You dropped to 0-3. So that's the first matchup. Second matchup, the G-Moneys versus the Madison Muskies. All right. G-Money put up 116 points to Madison's 84. Ben Roethlisberger had a monster game, 31 points. MJD puts his situation behind him. He was a little unhappy there. They got a win, which was good, Jacksonville. 24 points for MJD. Had a pretty good game. Very good game. Mike Wallace, 18 points. The tight end from Minnesota, Kyle Rudolph, 15 points. And the Lions defense had a -2, so you might want to check out the defense for next week. I mean, the Madison Muskies had a pretty decent team, pretty decent week. Peyton Manning, 21 points. Heath Miller, 18 points. Russell Wilson, 14 points. And his kicker from the Patriots, 13 points. He only scored 84 points, but, I mean, some situations you can win with 84 points. All right, so the G-Money improved to 2-1, and the Madison Muskies dropped to 1-2. Next matchup, the General versus Papa Bear. I thought the General were going to get their first win. They dropped to 0-3. Papa Bear improves to 2-1. Eli Manning, Arian Foster had pretty good showing, 15 and 16 points respectively. Denarius Moore, 10 points, but the rest of his team for the General are in single digits. Okay, Antonio Gates, he's got Malcolm Floyd as his offensive player. You might want to put somebody else in there. He's got Kevin Cobb. Okay, General, put Kevin Cobb in an offensive position. You can put a quarterback there. You're better off. You might want to think about another receiver. Maybe Denny Amendola from Seattle. From St. Louis. Papa Bear, very good showing, 92 points. So the score was 92-69. Papa Bear prevails. Alfred Morris, he was a free agent last week. He won the sweepstakes on that one. Scored 13 points. Calvin Johnson had a pretty big game, 22 points. Decker 13 points. The only question mark I see here is Jay Cutler. All right, you never know what you're gonna get with Jay Cutler. I know Papa Bear had him last year and he was up and down. He picked him again this year because he's a Chicago fan. But you have Matt Castle on the bench. Really didn't do anything. He scored 5 points. But hopefully Jay Cutler for Papa Bear will improve and be a little more consistent. Then he'll be better off. All right, good job, Papa Bear. All right, next one, the TBars versus the BAM. This is the one I got really wrong. I thought it was going to be a big matchup, but it turned out it wasn't. It was a romp. 104 to 55. T-Bowers demolish Bama. T-Bowers go to 2-1. Bama drops to 1-2. Matt Ryan, solid game, 21 points. Michael Bush, great pickup. Somebody dropped him in the beginning of the season, and he picked him up. Nice job. Martellus Bennett, tight end from the Giants, pretty good showing, 13 points. Bears defense, 23 points. Awesome job. Bama, the only person that really did anything was Brady, scored 17 points. Every other person that you have in the lineup scored less than 10 points in single digits. You're not going to win that way. You have to regroup. All right, next matchup. Luca Brasi versus Long Island Shabbat Saloon. Now, this one I got wrong. I thought Shabbat Saloon was going to win. Turned out Luca Brasi improves to 3-0. Long Island Shabbat Shalom falls to 2-1. The only thing I could say is you've got to check your lineup. Okay, you got to check your lineup. If there's somebody that has an injury, you need to make sure you check your lineup and he does not have an O before any game. So if you knew that the Giants were playing on Thursday night and you have Hicks and he has a little bit of an injury, you've got to look at your lineup. And if he's got an O, you got to swap him out with somebody. Okay, Lance Moore. You could have put Lance Moore in there. He scored 13 points. All right, Lance Moore could have been in there, and you would have got some more points. That's not an acceptable situation. Okay, you need to check your lineup on a regular basis and see if there's any injuries, and you have to monitor that. And before every game, there's Thursday night game, and then the Sunday games and the Monday night games, you've got to make sure that you don't have any guys out. And as simple as that. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing this league justice, because now the person that's playing you has an easier shot to beat you. But anyway, the other players that he had didn't really perform. Rogers only had 9 points. He had Tony Gerhardt get -1 point. All right. The only person that was really that did well was RG3. He scored 24 points. Everybody else was under, except for the kicker. Kicker was in single digits. Luca Brasi, 88 points. So the score was 88 to 61. He squeaked by with 88 points. Not every week you're gonna win with 88 points, but it was just enough. Joe Flacco, great job, 25 points. Cowboys defense, 12 points. Matt Stafford, but he's gonna be hurt. He's questionable, 18 points. All right, nice job, Luca Brasi. They improved to 3-0. So the Golden Ducks, and Luca Brasi are the only undefeated team. All right, let's take a look at the next matchup for Week 3. Team Fat Boys, Rice Baby. Another blowout. Team Fat Boys looking good, 102 to 61. Michael Vick, though, a little bit of a disappointment this year. Jamal Charles really helped you out there. 34 points for Jamal Charles. And Drew Brees, 19 points. All right, again, you have two guys that you have in double digits, 10 and 11. The Adrian Peterson and the Bills defense, respectively. All the other players that you have are in single digits. You're not going to win that way. All right. You have John Locker on your bench, scored 24 points. Wow. That's tough. I really hate to see that when you have guys on your bench that score a lot more points than the people that you put in for him. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 19 points. You might want to put him in instead of Michael Vick. Very nice job. All right, so Fat Boys They're 1-2. They improved to 1-2, and Rice Baby falls to 1-2. All right, last matchup. Long Island Sharks versus Citizens Gangster. Nice job by Long Island Sharks. They were embarrassed in the first round, Long Island Sharks. You came around, you won 2 games in a row, and Citizens Gangsters, not a good showing. I mean, you had a couple of guys in double digits, but the other guys, not so good. Ryan Matthews, 5 points. Victor Cruz, 4 points. All right, so very good job. Again, Citizens Gangsters using an offensive player that's not a quarterback. It doesn't look like you have much for quarterbacks. You don't really have another quarterback. That's going to be a problem for Citizens Gangster. If you don't have another quarterback, say Alex Smith. Alex Smith is on a bye week or he gets hurt. You don't have another quarterback. All right. We'll be back.